Geekazoid.
Our most anticipated releases for 2023. My name is Jaira, that is Captain Fizzman there, and finally we are going live on a very irregular day to stream. Normally we're live on a Thursday, but now it is a Wednesday, a day earlier, only because I am booked out busy this whole month, Fizzman. It feels like J-Rod is just not sticking to the schedule, and I apologize to everyone. I've been stuffing around Taylor, I've been stuffing around Fizzman, I've been stuffing around myself. It's just been a bit of a hectic time of year, but look, it is what it is. It's hard to keep to a schedule, especially when you're trying to do weekly episodic shows of Geekazoid, but I digress. Fizzman, how are you, buddy? How's your week been since the last time I spoke to you?
It's been interesting, to say the least.
Why? What's going on?
Yeah. Nothing really. It's just been very interesting. Just stuff I would I'm not going to talk about it. But I have been playing Gotham Knights a lot.
Well. You can't just say it's been interesting.
I'm not going to bring down the mood of the stream to talk about my mental health issues.
Sorry to hear, buddy. I hope everything's okay.
But I've been playing a lot of Gotham Knights.
That's great to hear. How far are you in the campaign?
I'm pretty far, I guess. So yeah, but I felt very gaslighted by the game because I was playing it and I was losing on like the easiest missions ever, and I'm like, why the hell do I keep on dying? Like, did these villains just get a power upgrade and everything? And it turned out I had the game on super hard.
All right. Well, Little Weird Guy says...
That's the reason why I was losing is because...
Yeah, fair. That makes sense. Look, Little Weird Guy says, speaking of Gotham Knights, finished it last week. Congratulations. He said
no
Freeze
spoilers.
Was hard. He just said Freeze was hard. That's
especially
cool.
for J-Rod, who probably hasn't picked it up yet.
Well, between that, God of War, Goat Simulator, Let's Sing... Mario and Rabbids, Spark of Hope, like, there's just so many games that I am trying to tackle at the moment. And there are more games to come as well. So,
I mean, I'm also using it as training for Hogwarts Legacy to see how much of the game I can complete within 3 days.
Nice. Before we continue on, Tal just chimed in with us. Hey guys, surprised seeing you on a Wednesday. Little Weird Guy goes, it's not a Thursday, but great to see you guys regardless. And Abdullah says, I haven't finished yet. I'm up to the Penguin mission, which is pretty cool. And Tal said, just recently finished playing Spider-Man Miles Morales on PC. Great game. That's right. Miles Morales came out last week on the PC. I have already finished it on PlayStation 5. Absolutely love it. I do have it on PC as well, so I'm going to give that a crack just to see how it performs.
Wait, is it out on PC now?
It is. It came out last Thursday or Friday last week. Yeah, or maybe Saturday.
Good to know.
Play it. You played the first one, right? The remastered, the first one, which was out a couple of
I have to admit something.
ago.
I did not even buy it yet.
Oh, that's all right. Look, this Miles Morales is a fantastic game. It's a lot shorter than the original Spider-Man game, but definitely pick it up. I absolutely love it. Look, for everyone that's chiming in and tuning in, this is a live podcast, so you can chime in, and all these names that you see on the screen underneath us, Tal, Little Weird Guy, Abdullah, Mozzie, Coffee, thank you for being here. Helps me waste time. Helps me waste away my evening. You're welcome, Mozzie. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to join the conversation...
What have you been up to?
Oh, well, you saw me last week. I was away up at Port Douglas. Natasha and I decided to get away. We had some
work.
Had to work.
At least that's right. What he told me.
Yeah, well, look. While I was away, I definitely caught up on work because I managed to edit a lot of things, and you'll be seeing them uploading as we go. But we actually had a bit of
even the trivia videos that have already been edited and uploaded, and waiting for you to just upload them to social media.
I wasn't talking about Geekazoid socials. I was talking about J-Rod's personal socials. But we'll get to that. And I'm trying to catch up. I'm telling you, wait till December hits. Like, I have no idea how we're gonna make December operate. This is just a little bit of backstory. All right, let me just pause the music for a second because we're gonna get real for just a real quick second. All right, so December is crazy. So I do like a lot of hosting. I host like weddings and like events, and obviously this is the season to be jolly. So there are a lot of Christmas events coming up, like Christmas tree lightings and whatever like that. And J-Rod's gonna be very busy lighting a lot of trees around Sydney. So I'm trying to stay on top of that. Got a dance concert coming up as well. So many ad campaigns. I actually had somebody reach out and ask me to do something this Saturday. They only asked me this afternoon, and I'm just like, So I can understand where your headspace is at, Fizzman, because it's like, how am I going to stay on top of all this? But I digress. This is fun. It's cool geeking out, just chilling and actually taking in all the geekiness around us. So yeah. Anyway, we still got to do a game tonight, Fizz, hopefully very, very soon, but it probably won't be any time until around actual Christmas Day or after Christmas Day. But anyway, let us get into a segment that I like to call Trending Topics! So this one dropped, I think, at the beginning of this week, maybe on Monday, or it could have been even on the weekend. But as we already are aware, DC have already rescheduled or sort of vamped their DC studios. And we know already, because we've reported about it, James Gunn and Peter Safran are the heads. They're the co-pilots of this new wave
Kevin
of DC.
Feige of the DCEU.
That's exactly right. I wonder if eventually Kevin Feige is going to be called. Yeah, he's the James Gunn and Peter Safran of Marvel. I don't think
He would. Kevin Feige's the original. Like,
well, he's the original. That's right. Yeah. But anyway, apparently, in 2 months' time, they're going to sit down with the heads of Warner Brothers and Discovery, I guess, and tell them what their plans are. And we already know that they're already planning their 10-year scope. So we're going to hear a lot of news in the next 2 months. So I'm assuming that's January, maybe February. They might not announce it to us officially during that time, but the plan is that they're going to be sitting down with Warner Brothers Discovery to chat about it. What are you hoping for, Fizman? Yeah.
I feel like after they've talked to Warner Brothers, they're going to do another DC fandom. And this is when they'll basically map out everything that's happening.
Well, I guess before they can map all that out, say if they've got to recast or they've got to re-sign people's contracts and whatever like
certain
that.
Certain people.
They're going to have to lock that in before they can make it official. And and then what I'm excited to hear is we already know what DC films are coming out next year. It's going to be interesting to see how those movies finish, sort of like a Black Adam, how it sort of sets up the next sort of wave of DC movies.
Of course.
But look, I'm just looking at the schedule that we have in front of us. We've got Shazam coming out early next year.
Mm-hmm.
We've got The Flash somewhere in the middle there. And then we've also got... There's meant to be a Blue Beetle movie somewhere happening as well. And then we finish up the year with Aquaman.
Yeah, also, I believe was supposed to be Batgirl, but that got shelved.
But that's obviously, shelved, cancelled, shelved, yeah. Never going to see it, which is a real shame.
I reckon we'll see it. I feel like James Gunn and Peter Safran will be like, no, we're going to release it.
But I guess what do they gain from it? Like, if they don't think it's... If Warner Brothers Discovery don't feel like it's worthy and the sort of tone that they want this new DC to be, would it be sort of like a...
Unless they do a direct to streaming and don't just release it in cinemas.
Just a separate thing. It could. I don't know. Yeah. To be honest, I feel like this next year of DC films just... Not that I want to just get them out of the way and find out what's happening in 2024, but I'm excited for the DC films that are happening next year. We still haven't seen a new trailer for The Flash. We haven't seen an official trailer for Aquaman. We don't know what's happening with Amber Heard. Maybe this is all going to be happening maybe early next year. I would be surprised if there's a fandom. I would love for there to be a fandom, as you know my involvement with fandom, but who knows? Like, with these guys at the head of it, they might not want to do fandoms anymore. They might want to do something else, or they might do the whole San Diego Comic-Con reveals. So,
Probably.
yeah, let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are. Tao says that Blue Beetle is August next year. That's right. I know that they've cast it. I know that they've filmed it. The suit looks pretty cool, but how it fits in with this whole lore, like Blue Beetle to me fits in well with Batgirl, right? Yeah, so I don't know if it's canon. I don't know if it's a standalone. I know that they've already talked about Batman. There might not even be the Batman 2 because they want one Batman that's going to be in this universe. So who knows? I'm so excited for these movies.
I think Matt Reeves will push for a Batman 2.
But then it contradicts, like, it's confusing to audiences,
But
especially
here's the
if you're
thing,
not...
though, because they have the multiverse, which means that you can have different Batmans existing in different universes. Like, there doesn't have to be just one Batman.
This is correct, but look, and this is a topic that we probably should have next week, but I would love to know what everyone's thoughts are about the Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4, and how do they feel about it, because there's been some mixed reviews. There's been some mixed notions about how this phase has been.
Okay, but before we can talk about that, you need to see Black Panther 2.
Yes, I do. That's very true. Very true.
Sorry.
And the likelihood of that happening anytime this week is slim.
Okay.
I need to see it. I really need to see it. I was meant to go to an event on Monday night, and I chose not to go to it because I was just like, I just need to get away. So, yeah. So it's just, like I said, it's a crazy time of the year. But while we're on this train, guys, let us know your thoughts about DC and what's happening in that world, and we'd love to hear it, and we'd love to share it and read it out loud. But this is sort of on the same sort of like DC story, because as we know that Walter Hamada was originally the president of DC Films, but now he's no longer with them. He stepped down. He was there up until Black Adam. Do you know much about this? Because now Walter Hamada is signed with a new movie company. Do you know much about this, Fizman?
Not really, to be perfectly honest. Like, this is brand new information for me. Do you know much about it?
I do. Well, Walter Hamada
do you want to take the lead?
Yeah, sure. So Walter Hamada signed with Paramount Pictures, and he's going to be, I guess, the head of a horror division of films that are happening at Paramount. Look, I'm not sure. I'm not too sure exactly what Walter's background is in regards to horror. I know that, you know, the director of Shazam and the director of Aquaman, they all have horror backgrounds, so maybe that's why he was a part of, you know, hand in hand and signing those guys to direct those films. And I guess horror is different. It's not like big blockbuster films. It's a bit more of like, you can do horror on a budget, and normally horror on a budget is the best kind of horror. I think if it's over the top with like CGI and stuff like that, it can sort of get a little bit, you know, in the realm of make believe and not real, which I understand horror is, you know, sort of like that fantasy, but the best types of horrors are the ones that are like, oh, this could happen.
Okay, so I'm reading an article that Deadline put out, and the reason why this is happening is because, as evidenced by the fantastic performance of Smile, which, sure,
yes,
which I saw.
You saw it, yeah.
I saw it from the cover of my jacket, because it was that terrifying for me. There is a tremendous appetite for original high concept storytelling in the global marketplace, and we look forward to a long, successful partnership. So this is the reason why Paramount has created that horror division, and that's why they have Walter Hamada leading it. I am excited because I believe Scream falls under Paramount, which means that we could be getting more Scream films. Hopefully with Nev Campbell back as Sydney. But who knows? So yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. Okay, cool. Look, so you're excited for this. I mean, look, Walter had a successful run before DC. I guess he was sort of successful with when DC was around, but I mean, we need some new heads, driving the DC universe forward. Universe building, I think, is what we need. And look, if Walter's just going to be, involved in terms of, okay, what does Tao say here, Fizz?
Walter has been involved. So Tao says Walter has been involved in some very good horror movies like It, Conjuring, and Annabelle.
So this seems like it's his wheelhouse.
Yeah, it seems like this is definitely something that is up his alley. So it's definitely something that I feel like he could do really good at.
Cool. Well, I hope he thrives, because
I love how we're talking about Walter like he's a friend of ours.
Walter Hamada, I know, but the only reason why, and people are like, who the hell is Walter Hamada? But we've actually brought up his name a lot of times in past episodes, so that's why we're talking about it, and I thought it was...
He's just a regular recurring guest of Geekazoid.
Well, hopefully we can get him on the show one day. I don't think he'll have time. He'll be too busy making horror films. Something that you're super interested in, Fizzman. You're like, wait, what? What? No, you're not. I thought I'd just do a Fizzman and sneak in some news that I absolutely love. It's not Hogwarts Legacy, so don't get excited, everybody. But this is something that I absolutely love. This is wrestling news. AEW and WWE. I just thought I'd just chuck this in there for maybe some wrestling fans out there. But over the weekend, I did have some time to watch a pay-per-view, and AEW has now got a new world champion in the form of MJF. This is the youngest AEW champion. It is really, really cool. If you haven't seen it yet, you definitely have to go watch the match. Little Weird Guy says, yes, that's right. Little Weird Guy, you're a wrestling fan, aren't you? And then Abdallah says, lol. I'm assuming he's lolling because this is my Hogwarts Legacy, I guess. Which I'm going to share some news with you a little bit later, Fizzman, about Hogwarts Legacy. So this is cool. New champion on the AEW side of things. It's been a little bit rocky in AEW because the original champ before Moxley was CM Punk, and if you're following the wrestling, you understand in the dirt sheets that CM Punk had a bit of a falling out with AEW and the Elite. This is all... Yeah. Is that crickets, Fizzman? Is that what I hear? Crickets in the background?
I had it ready to go. I was like, if someone responded, I was about to go.
But I'm excited to see what happens on Dynamite this week, because this should be a new wave of stories that they're going to be telling in terms of characters. And I thought Full Gear was a great show. A little bit long, but a great show. And another great show that I'm looking forward to is this weekend, Survivor Series for the WWE. This is going to be War Games. Very, very excited. It looks like a great show. Fizzman, have you actually watched any wrestling before?
I have done one video on my YouTube channel where I reacted to wrestling and basically commentated on it. So I've really only watched like one video of it. And that was after we played the game on Fight Night Friday.
Right, okay.
But you actually kicked my butt.
So War Games is basically two rings, wrestling rings next to each other. And then it's like a massive steel cage that is like over the top of the two rings. Then it's basically... two teams, could be groups of 5 or 4, and they just go at it.
So like in that Batman, Batman Cape Crusader Adventures, where you had the Gotham City Sirens, they had Black Canary and Vixen, and all of them go head to head against each other.
Yes, but what it is, it's like, I believe 2 people start at the same time, like one member from each team, and then I can't remember if it's every 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, there's a new person from each team joins in. So there's going to be a time where it's like 2 people from one team will be up against one, and then the other team will get then 2 people in. So there's always one team that has the advantage, but they sort of got to win a match prior to figure out who gets the advantage and all of that. So every 3 minutes, there's a new member of each team joining and fighting to see who is the sole survivor, the Survivor Series. So this is going to be really, really exciting.
Literally like Marvel vs. Capcom.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's exactly right. But instead of just one person at it at a time, it's like you can have up to 5 people on each team going at it. And you just have to get one pinfall to win the whole thing. Little Weird Guy says, need to find a way to watch AEW.
Wouldn't it be on binge?
It's so WWE is on binge. Okay. AEW is on Fight. So Little Weird Guy, message me and I may be able to help you out with that. And then it's cool to see more and more Aussies in the mainstream wrestling. Agree. Female wrestlers are taking over the WWE and AEW. And of course, we have some male wrestlers as well, which is really good to see. Abdullah says final episode of Andor comes out today. Has he already seen it? Post credit, 52 minutes long. Wow, I have to play catch up on that. Anyway, look, we're going way too long. This is where normally
I know we have a sort of later. I know we have a bit of a schedule, but can we switch to the last trending topic because it kind of goes in time with this topip. There we go.
Of course, go for it. Let's do it.
Okay, so this is necessarily still trending. It's not necessarily recent, but it's like a week old, but still it's trending, and I want to talk about it. Ash Ketchum, after 20 years, he had won the World Championship, and it is the most beautiful thing ever. Ash Ketchum did exactly what he said in the theme song. I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. I watched the battle. It was amazing. You have Charizard and Pikachu going head to head against each other. And what is so beautiful about this is there's a scene. I'm not spoiling it because it's all over the internet, so the internet spoiled it. But there's a scene where it looks like Pikachu's about to tap out, and there's like this moment of like all of Ash's Pokemon. So you see Charizard, you see Squirtle, you see Bulbasaur, all coming together, like all the Pokemon that Ash has ever owned and caught, coming together to rejuvenate Pikachu and give them their strength.
Oh wow!
And Pikachu was that one final Thunderbolt against Charizard, and that's literally how the battle ends.
Right.
It is so beautiful.
So, and how old is Ash still?
He's probably in his 30s. I think he's still 10.
I was about to say, when I was watching it in 1995, he was 10 years old. And 20 years later-ish, he still looks 10 years old.
Yeah.
So actually, it didn't take him that long. It didn't take him that long.
No, it didn't take him that long.
He didn't even have a birthday during that time, so that's great. No, look, I think this is amazing. Coincidentally, it came out around the same time as the new Pokemon games that got released, which is cool. That's great. I haven't actually seen the final fight yet. I loved Pokemon growing up as a kid. I think every kid enjoyed watching Pokemon. I wish we had a way to do polls in the chat, but can I just find out between Pokemon and Digimon? Now, obviously, Pokemon is more well-known. And everyone thinks that Digimon is like a clone rip-off sort of thing because of the Mon at the end of the name. But if you've actually watched this series, can I just have just let us know in the comments, what has the better storyline, Pokemon or Digimon? Let us know.
Yeah, but we're not streaming on. We're streaming to Twitch, but we're not streaming on Twitch, so we can't necessarily.
Yes, we're streaming on a separate platform than Twitch. So, look, just let us know. We don't have to do a poll, but just let us know in the comments. Just write if Pokemon or Digimon, and can you do it in caps for us, please, just so we can really, really see it. We got some people saying, I love both. Abdullah says, I love both. Look, I love both as well, but which one has the storyline that is this like? And if you haven't watched Digimon Tri, the new series that came out a couple of years ago, it is unreal. Love it. And the kids actually grow up. Did you know that, Fizz? They're not 10 anymore. They actually they grow up. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, look, I love both, but I kind of have a bit more of a I'm more leaning towards Digimon than Pokemon. I don't know, the monsters, the animation and the monsters were cooler than Pokemon.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. That's That's cool. All right, Fizz, we're going to jump over to this one because I know that Abdallah actually sent in this request to talk
Yeah,
about
this
this
is
one.
a fan submitted topic.
This is pretty cool. I actually don't know much about this, but I didn't even realize Beverly Hills Cop 4 was in production. It looks like it's going to be a Netflix exclusive, and we know
Yes.
that Eddie Murphy did Coming to America 2, which was a Amazon Prime exclusive a couple of years ago. It looks like he's just revisiting old characters. This looks like what streaming servers do. They go,
Yeah.
what was successful? What can we capitalize on? And then the actors just go, yep, easy payday. Let's go. And I think this is just another easy payday for Eddie Murphy.
So I'm looking at the plot, the rumored plot for this. It feels a lot like Big Mama's House 4, when it has the son and the father. But in this case, it's actually the father and the daughter. So we may be seeing Axel Foley, who is Eddie Murphy's character. They have Taylor Page, who is rumored to be playing his daughter. So I feel like we're gonna get like a father-daughter duo cop
storyline. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's great. Just going off the poll that we said before, I think Digimon more story than Pokemon. That's what Abdallah says. Little Weird Guy says Digimon, yeah. And Little Guy says, oh, this will be interesting. Are you talking about Beverly Hills Cop 4? I've actually never seen a Beverly Hills Cop movie. Maybe number one back in the 90s, maybe. I saw it. To be honest, when there's all these sequels, they just all blur into one. But Abdullah says, yes, I love Beverly Hills Cop. It was so funny. Well, thank you for the submission. Really do appreciate that.
So Judge Reinhold and John Ashton will be returning in Beverly Hills Cop 4. I like Jaden, I'm not as familiar with the franchise as much. Like, I watch them occasionally when they're on like 7 Mate, but I'm not like invested into it as other franchises.
And obviously, you know the theme song to the movie, right?
Probably. It's been a while since I've seen one.
How does it go? Is that right? Little Weird Guy and Abdullah?
Ring, ring.
Not the Crazy Frog. Not the Crazy Frog version. Wow. Yes, that's the tune, but not the Axel F version, okay? All right, and we're going to finish off with some really massive news that came out this week. Fizzman, you're all over this one, right?
Yes.
What's happening at Disney? Tell us.
Bob Chapek is out of Disney CEO, and Bob Iger is back in. Bob Iger is the one that everyone loves, so I feel like we're going to get Disney in a really good direction. We're going to just... I'm happy because it means that a lot of people had a lot of issues with Bob Chapek, with the way he was running Disney and his beliefs and everything. So he wasn't a very liked CEO, but everyone loves Bob Iger. So I feel like with everything happening, we're gonna get a lot of like nostalgia back. So there, for example, with Beverly Hills Cop 4 coming to Netflix, I feel like there's like this resurgence of all these old films getting like a sequel or like another or like a reboot or something. Like, I feel like a lot of these older films are getting that. So I feel like with Bob Iger back at the helm of Disney, we're gonna get a lot more Disney focused properties. Like, maybe we might get Atlantis 3. We might get finally the Hercules live action film that we've been asking for. There's so many different possibilities of...
Apparently, it's inspired by TikTok, apparently. I don't know what that means.
I am very afraid if that is the case.
I think it's just meant to be short, and not short, but like a lot of moments. I think that's what that expression means, because TikTok's very short form. There's a lot of like, I think it's just like a lot of moments in a movie. I don't know, like, it's interesting. Like, I know we're talking about Disney, but Quentin Tarantino made something really interesting. He made an interesting comment this week, and he said
about the Marvel films.
well, not just about the Marvel films, but also just cinema being dead, and his next project that he's going to be doing is not going to be a film. He doesn't think. He said it might just be like a limited series, because that's how people consume their shows. They, not people don't go to the cinema anymore, which makes you go, okay, I wonder how the new Avatar is going to perform then. If people like, I'm so excited for the new Avatar.
Speaking of that, James Cameron has said that if the movie needs to make $2 million in order to break even.
$2 billion.
$2 billion in order to break even.
Yes.
So
yes, 2 billion. That's probably just to pay for his new 3D cameras and the technology and all that. So, and this is the sort of movie that, yes, I want to see in the cinema because it's going to be an event. But I was looking at a lot of the comments.
The marketing for the Avatar 2 is very strange. Like, there is this there's this footage, like 20 minutes of footage being shown, but there isn't any talk of a premiere happening here in Australia. I feel like there will be one, but the marketing that's happening right now in the press is very much just like 20 minutes of the footage and then like a 90-minute Q&A.
Yeah, well, I saw the Sam Worthington interview on the project, and he said that apparently the film is not even finished yet. Like, it hasn't even been officially finished yet. And the movie comes out in, what, less than 4 weeks?
3 weeks.
So, 3 weeks. So, apparently they're still tinkering away at it, which is interesting. So that's why there hasn't been any early screenings.
But yeah, look, the reason why
I don't think a premiere is going to help in terms of the sales.
No.
But how do you advertise a movie? Like, I don't watch free-to-air TV. Like, my advertisement is basically through social media, and content that I watch. Maybe the odd bus shelter poster, or when I'm driving down the expressway and I see this massive poster, I go, oh yeah, cool. Or when I go to the movies and I see ads, like trailers, but I've already seen the trailers on YouTube because of social media. So
that actually gives me a really cool idea for a discussion topic that I will tell you about when we finish recording.
Well, look, we better finish this up with Bob.
But yes, so the reason why he's back is because they want to, it's to encourage growth of Disney, because they feel like fiscally they will grow, they'll be successful in become profitable in fiscal 2024, and they expect Disney Plus to do that as well. So I think they're putting a lot of their eggs in their basket on the performance on Disney Plus with the increase in pricing and the way that they are changing the model and everything. So I feel like they're doing it in a way so they can compete with streaming wars, but also because one of the big things is Disney hasn't been releasing any films to cinema until, like, it's been very much on Disney Plus. So,
yes. Well,
I feel like that's what they're trying to get back. They're trying to get back that cinema experience.
Strange Worlds comes out tomorrow. This is was talking about it last week. This will be the first animated film, so like that Disney has released since the lockdowns. So it'll be interesting to see how it performs, especially how I was saying before, like, nobody's going to the cinemas anymore. Like, everyone's just like, I can wait. And they can wait, because how much is there to stream? Like, there's, like, you got Binge, Disney Plus, Netflix, Stan.
29! To be exact.
That's right. On your trivia last time. And, Paramount Plus. Like, there are so many... Like, you don't need... we're not starving for content, to be honest. Like, we're drowning in terms of all the content. But look, I feel like it's funny that this is two Bobs, and to go off your little joke before, Fizzman, but look, Bob Iger, great to have him back, but when he replaces Bob that is just getting kicked out, I think it's a bit unfair, because it's not just Disney as in the entertainment space, but it's the parks and all that sort of stuff.
I was hoping for a Battle of the Bobs.
Battle of the Bobs, how funny. A Bob off. It's he's had a hard couple of years to really get the the performance up
Chapeks have been bobbed out.
And Disney have been going crazy with content on their streaming service, but it'll be interesting to see like the overall score in regards to the quality of movies and TV shows that they've been putting on the streaming service. Like, what's the average score? Like Disenchanted didn't really get reviewed that well. And there's been a couple of other properties that they've had on the platform that haven't been performing as well. Andor's been great. Andor, sorry, has been great. But yeah, it's not like consistently.
Hocus
I
Pocus.
feel like did that do well? I didn't really watch
that
it.
Was interesting. It performed interesting. I don't know like how well it did streaming wise, like because there isn't any like box office numbers to compare it to, and I feel like that's why they're bringing back Bob Iger, because like in terms of how they can compare how well a film does, you can't really compare it well on streams, I guess. Like you can see how many stream, but like there's not a set like a time frame that you can compare it in, because like people view it at like different times. Whereas with box office numbers, you have those different box office, like global box office, domestic box office, like an opening weekend. Like these are the numbers that count, especially. It isn't that like I feel like a lot of the whole cinema experience is starting to die out.
Yes.
Because with the rise on the emergence of streaming platforms.
Yep.
But like every once in a while, it's nice to go to the cinemas, but frick, they're expensive.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like the price of a ticket costs more than a month's. Say like Disney Plus to have a month's worth of Disney Plus is less than one ticket to watch one movie, where on Disney Plus you get access to all of these different shows for the whole month. So that's what you're basing it on. But yeah, look, it'll be interesting, I guess, with the new title, the new IP, and I applaud Disney on getting a Strange Worlds out there that looks great. Something very different to what that we've seen in a while. Encanto performed very well on Disney Plus. And that's to help with social media, TikTok. There's so many, and I guess it helps with Lin-Manuel. Like he's very, loved across the internet, and then the casting as well, and the character development in that. But anyway, we could go on. It
wasn't just that; it's also the music behind it. Like
the music, yes,
because
but
the music was created where you could take bits and pieces for TikTok sound, and
but then it's
even before the film came out, you could hear Surface Pressure being used in TikTok sound and everything. So even before we knew the context of it.
But do you reckon the reach would have been the same if it was a cinematic release, a theater release?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, we're in interesting times, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Strange World and also Avatar when it comes out. I would hope it makes 2 billion, only because depending on how successful this one is.
James Cameron is gunning for that top box office position.
He is, but we're in a different world. Like even Endgame was, Infinity War and Endgame was sort of like just on the cusp of the streaming service really taking over. Like it's all before lockdown. Like lockdown really changed a lot for everyone. But sorry, just before we move on, Avatar, if it doesn't perform as well, that means Avatar 3 will end the trilogy. But if Avatar 2 performs really well, then it will determine what happens with Avatar 3 and 4. So that's a bit scary. Okay, so we might leave it there. Fizz, I was going to throw it over to my interview that I did with Lupita for Black Panther, but I'm afraid that we're going to go over time because it goes for about 5 minutes. So we might just skip that. And if you guys are happy to join us and continue on geeking out, we might just throw it over to the segment and talk about our most anticipated films. How does that sound, Fizz?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. There's no trivia, everyone, so you don't have to put your thinking caps on. There's no trivia this week.
There's no trivia, and that's my fault because I know that normally you have a bit more time to get the trivia ready, but it's only because I asked for this to happen today. But that's all right. I mean, they can chill for a bit, right? But we want to know what's your most just let us know what your most anticipated release is for next year, the year of 2023. It doesn't have to be just movies. It can be TV shows. It can be gaming as well. We're going to be talking about a couple of movies that we're excited for, and also a couple of games that we're excited for as well. Have a guess what Fizzman's most anticipated game is for next year. Have a guess. I know, right? Okay, so let's kick it over to what I think. I'm just going to change the music up here, but a movie that I am so excited for, and we're meant to see it this year, and it's really put a spanner in the DC's sort of like plans, but that could actually work out to be in their favor. The movie that I'm talking about is The Flash. The Flash film that we were meant to see this year. We were meant to see a returning Michael Keaton. This was meant to open up, the Flashpoint storyline and the whole multiverse of the DC universe. So this is going to be really, really interesting in regards to what is going to happen in this film. I'm excited. I have no idea what they're doing in regards to Ezra Miller. I don't think they're going to be refilming. I don't think they're going to be recasting Ezra Miller. It's really unfortunate about their exposure in, the news and all that. I haven't heard much in regards to Ezra Miller and what's happening. But one thing I know for sure is the Flash film. Cannot wait to see it. We saw this at DC Fandom last year. We haven't seen any new footage. We haven't seen any new plot points. No poster, no official poster. We've seen a new logo, the release of the logo. We haven't heard anything from anyone. So The Flash for me is probably my most anticipated film for next year. How about you?
Because
Fizz?
you haven't seen anything new about it?
Well, and you know what? That's actually an interesting point.
Why is it your most anticipated film?
Why is it?
Yeah,
I absolutely love... I think the casting of Ezra Miller as the Flash was spot on. I love their performance in the original Justice League, the Justice League. And I loved Ezra Miller's performance. I really loved Ezra's performance in the Zack Snyder Justice League. It's the Flash. Like, he's one of the... when you think of superheroes, Flash is definitely, like, top 10 heroes. Maybe top 5, but it's hard to say now because, like, there's so many Marvel characters out there now. Not just mentioning DC characters. Like, your Holy Trinity is Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. But when you're thinking of, like, the main 5, maybe DC characters, yeah, Flash is definitely up there. And I reckon that Flash is definitely up there in terms of the top 10. I just think Ezra can carry a solo film, especially The Flash. Yeah,
Well,
I'm excited. And of course, Michael Keaton and all that as well. The return of the original, Tim Burton Batman.
I kind of did a bit of a internet search because I am the Fizz man.
Yes.
And Warner Bros. Discovery is heading to this year's Comic-Con Expo in Brazil, and there will be an interactive space for DC fans and attendants showcasing Shazam, Fury of the Gods, The Flash, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So I feel like we're going to get some footage from either one of those films.
Well, they're going to have to start doing advertising, so that's great. So CCXP is the Brazil's Comic-Con, which is massive.
Yes.
I was very fortunate to go there, and it looks like DC really push... That's where they did Birds of Prey, and they also did Wonder Woman as well there. How exciting. That's really cool. I hope so, Fizz. That actually should be happening early December, right?
In a few
Comic-Con.
So CCXP is on the 1st of December. Yes.
Wow.
So next week.
So we're going to find out next week. Oh. But it goes over the weekend, so we probably won't report about it next week. It'll be the week after. Tao says John Wick Chapter 4 hands down most anticipated film of 2023. I already told you about Supergirl is in the Flash. That's right. We saw her in the background of the footage that we saw before there. Speaking of the Shazam, Fizzman.
Apparently, sorry, before we jump off there, they're using new technology, but they're going to have the same they're basically going to use like some new technology that is going to be used to allow for the same actor to be on multiple screens. So I feel like we're going to get what's the right terminology for it? Like duplicates on the screen.
Duplicates.
But yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. While we're talking about DC, we might as well talk about a film that you are excited for. Shazam: Fury of the Gods.
No Black Canary or Nightwing, but it will have to do because it has Lucy Liu in it.
Yeah, and Helen Mirren?
Helen Mirren and Rachel Zegler as the three daughters of Titan, of Atlas the Titan.
Really cool casting. We've reported about this a lot on this on Geekazoid. We haven't seen any new footage since this one. A very different tone to other superhero films, like especially in the DC EU. Tell us about this. Why are you excited for this one, Fizzman?
Well, apart from the fact that it has the franchise has featured one of us in there, as a cameo extra.
Can I just say, I do not return as an extra in this one, unfortunately. But yeah, I forgot about that.
It was really interesting because like Shazam going into that premiere and going into watching it, it wasn't something I was like really hyped for, but then seeing it really surprised me, and it became one of my favorite DC films because just it's so good and it's so like family oriented, but it also just like it has the elements of a superhero film, and not just because you were in it, but also because like the whole concept of Shazam or Captain Marvel as they originally were called before.
Yes.
They changed it. It's like it's really interesting. And also Lucy Liu. Like Lucy Liu is my all-time celebrity crush along with Halle Berry. So
that's cool.
That is like one of the reasons why I am watching it.
That's mad. Look, Abdallah, I was actually just thinking this suit that Shazam has is definitely updated and upgraded. I was gonna ask you, are you gonna update your suit? Look at this. How cool is it to see the Marvel family there? That's so cool.
And like there she is.
Yeah, looks unreal. Looks so good. I thought the first one was fantastic. I laughed. I thought I don't want to call them horror scenes because I just know the director is originally a horror director, and you could definitely tell in some of the scenes that there's a lot of jump scares in some of the scarier enemy scenes, let's call it. I gotta rewatch this. I remember watching this in the cinema, and I remember watching it the 9:30 screening with Natasha, and the next day I flew to actually Brazil for CCXP. I'm pretty sure it was that trip. And we caught the latest one, like screening possible, because I was like, I've got to see it before I go over, because everyone's going to be talking about it, and I'm gonna be like, I haven't seen it yet, and they're going to be like, and you're here representing DC, so yeah, so yes, very excited for that movie when it comes out. It looks like it's coming out in March, so yeah.
But also like it has one of my favorite topics ever, which is a focus on Greek mythology, which I'm happy about.
Yes, very cool. Do you love the suit?
I'm very hesitant on the suit. Like it does feel like it's an upgrade, but you can't go wrong with the classic. So I mean, I feel like the suit needs to grow on me for me to really fully appreciate it.
What I loved about the original suit was the big glowing lightning bolt on his chest. Yeah, that's what I loved, and obviously this one doesn't have that.
One thing which I do like are the boots and the gauntlets and everything, and like the little intricate details of it. But like the suit as a whole, I kind of prefer the original.
Well, yeah, look, I know what you mean. This one doesn't look as bulky and puffy as his last suit. This one looks a little bit more natural. But hey, like I understand why they do it. It's for action figures. Like, you got to sell that merchandise, and you got to different, like, if you have the same looking character, they don't need to update their toy collection. So it's all it is, man. You gotta get those toys selling. That's all it is. How about we go over to some gaming now?
Yes.
And we'll come back to the movies, but I know I said to you, what are you excited for in terms of gaming releases next year? But I
Spoiler,
thought I had,
it's the PSVR 2. That's the one
oh
I'm
yeah,
excited.
yeah, that's it. The PS VR 2. I love my VR. It's actually over there. The only problem with the PlayStation VR headset, the original one, it's such a big setup, like to commit to it.
Bulky.
You've got, it's well, I'm not just talking about the headset itself, but it's not as easy as just plugging it in and going off. Like you need an external power supply. You've got to connect it via, like a USB, and then behind, and then the camera, and and there's this other like box that you got to plug it into. So it's not something that you can always have set up. It's the sort of thing where, especially if you have your console out on display, it's the sort of thing where it's like, okay, you got to bring it out of the cupboard, out and then out of the box, and then set it all up, and then you're good to go. Where with the PlayStation VR 2, apparently it's just one plug in the front or the back, and then you're good to go. Before we move on, Abdullah's just chiming in saying that it needs to light up new suits. He's talking about Shazam, and yes, I agree with Jay. Yes, very expensive on the EB Games Store. I believe you're talking about the PlayStation VR 2. This thing costs more than an actual PS5 is.
I'm not surprised, to be honest. That's
Um,
usually how it is with VR.
but I'm assuming it's because it comes with the controllers. I actually didn't think of that last time, because when you got the original, it was just the headset and then like the box to connect it to the PlayStation. Okay, you had to already have the Move controllers. Okay, but then you didn't need the Move controllers. You could have just used the normal standard controller from the PS4. With this one, it must come with the two new controllers, and then also the headset. So that makes sense, right? Like it to be a little bit more like there's a lot of hardware that you're getting.
I'm.
Like everything you see
Do
in
we
front
know
of you
what
is
the
what you get.
pricing is?
I think it's like 900.
Yeah, see, that just seems way too much.
Yeah, I mean, how much is an Oculus? Like an Oculus would be roughly the same price, and you don't even need a PS5 for it to
What type of
work.
Oculus, though?
Well, the one that connects to like a PC. What's your
Oculus.
entry level?
Okay,
I
so the
guess.
Oculus Quest 2, which is what well, now it's called to MetaQuest. So it's now changed from Oculus to MetaQuest. On Amazon, it's about $630, and that comes with the headset and the controllers.
There you go. So you're competing against that. Look, I don't know, is Oculus 4K. I don't know what the sort of like the stats are on that. I'm a PS loyalist. I love my PlayStation. I absolutely love the PSVR. I remember Christmas Day opening this up, and my grandfather, who I think he was 90 at the time, he's 95 now.
Nearly 4K resolution.
There you go. So the PS nearly. It says nearly?
Nearly 4K resolution.
Right. So I know the PlayStation one is 4K resolution.
Okay.
So I've got a photo of my grandfather. I actually should share it on my socials, but he was wearing this headset. I would love to get a photo of him wearing the PSVR 2 5 years later. That would be amazing, because he's 95 now. And I remember putting on that demo where he was in the fish tank. He was in the shark cage.
Don't remind me of that one.
Under the water, and he's looking around, and I'm like, this is so crazy that, like, my grandfather, I wonder what he was what was going through his mind when he was experiencing that. Because I remember him sitting there looking around like this, looking over his shoulder. Like, isn't that wild? Like, that's insane.
Oh, I've experienced that game.
I know you have. But I'm saying for somebody that's 90 years old,
no,
this
of course,
technology,
yeah, no, it definitely is wild.
It's wild. Yeah. No surprise here, Fizzman. We're still talking about gaming. Hogwarts Legacy. Come at us. Is there anything new that you haven't spoken about yet in terms of Hogwarts Legacy?
In the past, so on November 19th, we got a look into one of our new characters, Amit Thacker, and he is a Ravenclaw student.
Okay.
And his bio is that he aspires to be a famous wizarding historian and has extensive plans for his first memoir. He adores stargazing and always seems to have the most recent top of the line telescope at hand. He'll leap at the chance to help a friend in need, but once in the thick of things, often realizes he might be better off reading or writing about certain adventures than experiencing them. And then about 15 hours ago, we got a reveal into our Defense Against the Dark Arts professor, who is called Dinah Heckat. And they used to work at the Ministry of Magic, and they've now retired to become a Defense Against the Dark Arts professor. So we're getting characters. We're reading more about the character being introduced to them. I actually do want to find the trophy list because the trophy list actually leaks for the PlayStation, and it says that we'll be playing this for a very long time.
Yes, I saw that. Yes. Sorry, quick question. This game only happens on the grounds of Hogwarts, is that right?
No, it isn't just on the Hogwarts. You can actually also experience Hogsmeade as well as other wizarding locations.
Okay. Right, okay. Because obviously the footage that we're seeing here at the moment is just all around Hogwarts and the grounds and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I guess this is how you start the game.
But if you remember, I got very salty about the fact that there's a PlayStation 5 exclusive quest called the Hogsmeade Haunted Shop.
Right.
That is only a time exclusive. So
okay, there you go.
I'm excited for this. Just like seeing Hogwarts.
You'll just have to wait. You'll just have to wait a year to play it. That's all. The timed exclusive.
Or I'll just go over to your place and be like, "Hey, can I play this?"
Yeah, you're like, I've already finished the game, so I need to play this mission to actually finish the game. Thanks. Yeah, cool. Yeah, of course you can, bro. I'm excited to customize my Hogwarts avatar. I am really excited for that. It's gonna take such a long time because this is the sort of game where you want it to look like you.
Oh yeah.
So I'm really excited for this release as well. I'm gonna have to make sure I clear my calendar. The beginning of the year is a little bit quieter for me, so I'm excited that it's coming out in February.
Yes.
Because it's not as chaotic. But no, this looks unreal. I cannot wait. Yeah, expect some gameplays from Fizzman. I'm sure of it. We're not going to see Fizzman. Fizzman's going to be MIA the whole month. Yeah. Tao says that eventually the Haunted Hogsmeade story will end up on PC.
Oh yeah, no. So after, I think it's about a year, it will then come onto the other platforms.
Yes. Yeah. I'm very excited to play it. Play with it, Abdullah says. Yeah, beautiful.
I'm excited for the Nintendo Switch version because it means I get to take it with me.
I hope that it performs as well. It won't.
I feel like that's why they have delayed the Nintendo Switch release date because they're trying to make it perform well.
Most companies do that. They let it because you don't want really the negative press, on release day going like, how great is it on these consoles, but the Switch just can't handle it. It's just like, you know what, release it, get the good reviews in, and then maybe a couple of months later, then release the Switch version, and everyone will be like, okay, they've tried to port it, but
yeah.
But who knows? We might get a new Switch by then. Who knows? Do you know what I mean? Like, it could be one of those sorts of things. All right, we better keep going because we are going to be going over time. And apologies, we started this stream 15 minutes late because of me. Of course, I had everything ready to go, and then Fizzman was like, J-Rod, your internet is lousy. And I'm like, are you serious? And then I had to restart my internet, and then that wouldn't connect. And then my computer then wouldn't connect to the Wi-Fi because my Wi-Fi dongle, whatever you want to call it, wasn't connected. So I had to quickly get behind the computer. It was a stressful situation. But anyway.
5 minutes later.
Thanks, Fizzman. That's normally me doing it to you. But the next movie I'm going to talk about, the last movie I'm going to be talking about, I actually couldn't think of a TV series that I was excited for next year.
I thought of one, but I'm like, it's not. I'm excited for it, but also like, I'm sure
it's not in your top 3. Yeah.
Even though I've literally talked about it the entire time.
Oh.
Percy Jackson.
Yes, okay. Yes, but I feel like there's other stuff that is like just trumps it, right? And this one, I totally forgot about this one coming out next year. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I totally forgot about this release. I absolutely loved the first one when it came out a couple of years ago. And I know we got a little bit of a teaser trailer that came out a while ago. Love the art style. I think it's amazing. I cannot wait to see where it goes, especially with Spider-Man 2099 a part of it as well. Yeah, well, there he is right there. Absolutely love that Spider-Man. Love the graphic novels, so I'm excited to see him on the screen. It's going to be great. The only thing that I'm nervous of is the art style, and everyone was so impressed with the first one. That's what it was so great about it, that it was different, where this one, the sequel, we already know what to expect in terms of the art style. We already know the characters, so I'm hoping that the storyline, like, this story has to be, like, on point for everyone to be like, wow, this is the best Spider-Verse movie. This is part one of the, like, this is meant to be like... Yeah, go on, Fizz.
It's going to be really interesting because, like, a lot of people are going to be comparing it to the first film.
That's what I mean. Like, apparently this is going to be The Empire Strikes Back. Like,
that is a very tall... That is a very big call to make.
Well, no, but like when I say that, I'm saying like it's gonna end on a cliffhanger. So you like it's not gonna just be a standalone movie. Like it's going to end on a cliffhanger, and you need to watch the sequel to it, the part 2 of it, to finish off the story. So, and it was meant to come out this year. They delayed it. And I'm all for them delaying stuff if they feel like they need to make it better. Like, I hate when they just push things out because, oh, you know, we made a promise and we're going to get... No, take your time with it. This is a work of art. The art style's beautiful. The characters, we love the characters, and it's just a really cool concept. And I can't believe they made the first one work. That I'm excited to see what they do with this one. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are in regards to this, and also which is your favorite Spider-Man, whoever, whatever you want to call it.
Spider-Man,
the weird guy says
2099 for me.
Yeah, I love the suit. The weird guy says, yes, I forgot about it too. I totally forgot about this one. And Willow. Yes, Willow comes out this month on Disney Plus. That's right. I saw that.
When did they premiere for that?
For Willow?
Like, I feel like that was done like ages ago.
Oh, you're talking about the Spider-Man one?
No, Willow.
There was a premiere? Like, oh, you mean like in the States?
In the UK, States and everything,
yes. It would have been this month, just gone. But we've just had so many premieres and releases. It's just, and there's so much news, it probably just got lost in the shuffle. Yeah, okay, Fizzman. We better end with your last pick. I couldn't find a proper poster for this one, and we actually don't have any footage at all.
Marvel is being very secretive with their footage for all of this stuff. Like at Comic-Con and at D23, they showed footage of the Marvels and also Secret Wars. And we only Secret Invasion. So we only just got Secret Invasion, like a trailer for it.
Yes.
So they're being very secretive with this film.
Well, this was meant to come out this year, the Marvels.
Yeah.
Well, originally, it was meant to be Captain Marvel 2, and then they went, okay, not as popular, so let's just do a bundle combo deal. So it's the Marvels, and then they delayed that again. And I guess Miss Marvel was pretty successful in regards to the streaming platform TV series. So, Fizzman, why are you excited to see the Marvels?
I am in the camp of, I'm one of the very few people who I loved Captain Marvel. I thought it was such a good film, and I really enjoyed it, like not just from the nostalgia factor, but also like the storyline and the representation, which is something I'm always going on about, how we need more representation of different people and different fields. It can't just be the same white superhero, male superheroes. Like, we need that representation in that mix. Otherwise, it doesn't feel right. But also, I love Aman Vellani so much because she's just like us. Like, she has argued with Kevin Feige so much about the canon about the existence of Earth 616.
Yep.
How how the MCU isn't 616, is actually a different Earth, and she's just one of us, and I still love that. And the amount of, and just Monica Rambeau as well. I'm just excited to see an all-female film. Like, Birds of Prey is one of my favorite DC films, and it's because it is that all-female ensemble. So I'm excited to see that. But also, it could introduce new things. Like, it could lead into Secret Wars or Secret Invasion, which I'm excited about as well, because there's a possibility that Quake, Daisy Johnson from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. could be in it, and I am just hoping for that, because yeah.
You actually make a great point. We actually haven't seen an all-female led Marvel movie yet. And we know that we saw a little tease in Endgame, which was a really, really cool
So we see it in Endgame. We also see it with Dora Milaje in Black Panther, where it's that all-female team. But we actually have never seen an all-female led superhero Marvel film.
How does this play out? Are they on 3 side quests, or are they all working together, or are they...
The idea, it really ties in well with the end of Ms. Marvel, the TV series, where there was a post-credit scene where we see Carol Danvers pop up.
Yes, we'll see it soon.
Kamala Khan. Yeah, so we see Kamala Khan disappear, and she is replaced by Carol Danvers. And the reason why is something's happening with their powers, where if one of them uses it, they switch places. So that is what the main plot is. And so the idea is that they're trying to figure out who's doing this, and they come together at the end to fight the big battle, figure out who it is. We might get MODOK in this. Who knows?
That'd be cool.
That is what the rumor is, that we might be getting MODOK here.
Look, I mean, I'm interested to see what they do with it, because it feels like a little bit of retcon, especially with the Captain Marvel. We know that they really pushed Captain Marvel because of Wonder Woman and the success of Wonder Woman. And some people felt like it was it was actually on TV. This is a while ago now. And I sat down and I watched it, and I'm like, yeah, there was actually some really cool moments in the film. It's hard to do origin stories because we're so used to seeing, like, 7 heroes on the... We're so used to Avengers-style movies where there's so many heroes on the screen, and origin stories now don't seem as grand. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a great shout to have all these different female-led characters on the screen. Makes for some great stories. If they need more time to develop the stories, let's go, do it. Take as much time as you want. But yes, that's coming out next year. The Marvels, which is really, really exciting. Fizzman, we got through it.
We got through
this show. Is there any other shout outs that you want to make mention in terms of releases coming out next year? There's a couple of films that
Scream
6.
I saw that. Yes. Yeah, that had been pushed up to March 10th, not March 31st now. So that has been released earlier.
Really?
I'm hoping we get a trailer very soon for it. Or if they decide, hey, we're not going to give you a trailer at all, and they just give us the film, that would just be a really interesting marketing tactic. But yeah, also Percy Jackson, Wicked, which is coming out at the end of it. Part one.
That's right.
So yeah, there's a lot coming out.
There's a new Christopher Nolan film coming out next year.
Which one?
There's a new Christopher Nolan film, Orpheum, I think it's called. There's a new Transformers film coming out next year, Beast, Rise of the Beast, or the Beast War characters.
Little Mermaid.
The Little Mermaid, yes, which is going to be very, very interesting. Abdullah says Prince of Persia remake coming for PS4. Yes, that's coming out next year. There's a whole bunch of games coming out next year as well.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
3, that's right.
Ant-Man and the Quantumania.
Early next year, that's correct as well. Aquaman,
Wonka.
we mentioned before. Wonka at the end of next year.
Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds. And
it's like a prequel. Dune,
yep, Indiana
Part 2.
Jones 5.
That's right. John Wick.
Barbie.
Yes, Barbie comes out next year.
Megan,
as well.
Craven.
Megan? Craven the Hunter. That's right.
It's the doll that it's the artificial intelligence doll. It's like a horror film. And the only reason I'm watching it is because they had a Taylor Swift song in the trailer. And that is the only reason I'm going to watch it. Elemental, Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, Elemental comes out next year. Yeah, cool.
The Super Mario movie.
The Super Mario movie.
One of your favorite ones, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem.
Oh, yep. The one with Seth Rogen's writing. Star Trek.
Apparently, Legally Blonde 3?
Yes, it's meant to be coming out next year, but there hasn't been an official release date yet.
So there's a lot coming out. Peter Pan and
that's
Wendy.
Why. Yes, so that's why it's really important to see.
10?
Yes, that's why it's really important for these films that are coming out to the end of this year to see how well they're performed. I don't think any film this year has hit the 1 billion mark.
No.
Spider-Man.
Black Panther might get to it.
Spider-Man, No Way Home, but that was last year.
That came out last year.
Yeah. So that was like a last year reveal. Yeah, wow. It's an exciting year.
Winnie the Pooh, which is the horror film version of it.
The horror version. Yeah, wow. Okay. Big year next year, but like I said, we're just talking about some of our most anticipated films. Guys, we'd just like to say thank you so much for tuning in and geeking out with us on a Wednesday. Fizzman, where can everybody find you?
You can find me everywhere at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, even though it might be there soon. TikTok, YouTube, Vero, Twitch, Be Real, Hive, even though I might be changing my username again. It's currently Anthony Farah, but it might change back to Captain Fitman, who knows. Hive, the new social media app.
Yeah, I made an account.
Yep, same. So yeah, you can find me everywhere. What about you, Jaden? Where can they find you?
Well, you can find me everywhere as well. You can now find me in my house because I'm back. But Facebook, Instagram.
At multiple tree lightings.
At a City tree lighting event near you. YouTube. Yeah, like I upload on YouTube anymore. Abdullah says, I have a Hive account. Guys, let us know. I'm trying to figure out how to share Hive on my Instagram so people can follow me. I can't find the URL to share. I'd love some friends on there. Yeah, so basically everywhere. TikTok, I've been uploading a whole bunch of TikToks lately, so definitely jump over there. And follow us on Geekazoid, at Geekazoid Live on the socials. I'm trying to catch up on that, especially before the end of the year. And I'll get Fizzman's... I just need to give you the login details because you can just upload your own trivia stuff, to be honest. It'll just make things so much easier. And I know you've been asking for that for quite a long time. Abdullah Cosplay is on Hive, so make sure you follow him there. Fizzman, officially sign us off, buddy. Let's go.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning into this week's episode of Geekazoid Live. Make sure to check us out every Thursday, Wednesday, or Friday, whenever J-Rod decides, hey, he wants to do one, at 7 p.m. AEST or 7:15 p.m. AEST, depending on when we decide to do that. Make sure to follow Geekazoid on all our social media channels at Geekazoid Live. Just type that in Google. SEO will do the rest of the work. Also, make sure to follow our hosts on all their respective social medias. And remember, as always, to keep geeking out.
Keep geeking out. And before we just sign off as well, we are on Spotify and also on Apple Podcasts as well. Our friends that are here live, can you please do us a favor? I know that you've already watched it, so you don't need to relive it. But if you can download us on where you can listen to podcasts, give us a little bit of a review. It just helps the algorithm and gets us a little bit more exposure because... yeah, we just need a little bit more exposure, that's all. But help us out, be a friend of the show. We appreciate it. And like Fizzman said, keep geeking out. Thanks, Fizzman. I'll catch you soon, buddy.
Bye.
See you, everybody.